You can keep your Sean Connery with his greasy chest hair and fake British accent, or your George Lazenby with his frilly shirt looking like something that came out of a Jane Austen novel. But for me, there's only one James Bond I want sipping martinis, and that is Roger Moore. So a lot of you are aware that I am a huge fan of James Bond. And by huge fan, I mean I've watched a few of the movies. But a lot of you probably aren't aware that my favorite James Bond is Roger Moore. Now, a lot of people think that Roger Moore's James Bond was the one that jumped the shark. But if Roger Moore's James Bond was the one that jumped the shark, I like where he landed. Because Roger Moore was the most insane, most wonderful thing that ever happened to the character. And on this episode, I'll be explaining why I think nobody does it better.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
The moment that Roger Moore stepped onto the scene in Live and Let Die, audiences could tell that they were in for something different from the smooth-talking Sean Connery. In his first movie, Roger Moore fought a wizard. That's right. The first movie that Roger Moore's James Bond plays in, he fights a wizard with actual magical powers. The writers were sitting down, they were coming up with ideas, and they finally decided, hey, let's have James Bond fight a wizard. And it gets even better. This was also the first film to feature the character of J.W. Peppers, a racist cop that is often considered one of the most annoying characters in James Bond history.
Exactly your debut with this sort of thing.
And, of course, the scene where Roger Moore's James Bond sticks a shark gun pellet in some guy's mouth, he blows up into a balloon and explodes on the ceiling. That is one of the most amazing things that I have ever seen in my entire life. Did you all just see that? That is needless violence at its best. And the madness only increases from there. While Sean Connery's James Bond fought guys like Blofeld and Dr. No, Roger Moore fought a guy with 3 nipples. A guy with 3 nipples. I'm not sure what they were trying to achieve with that, whether there's some symbolic meaning or something. But the way that Roger Moore's James Bond pretends to be this guy with 3 nipples is also kind of hilarious, too. He gets Q to make him a fake nipple, and he puts it on his chest. And that's all he does. Just sticks a nipple on his chest and assumes that everyone's going to think that he's Scalamander. Even though this guy looks nothing like this guy. Just stick a nipple on your chest. I mean, how many 3-nipple people can there be anyways? And, of course, there were a lot of other villains that James Bond fought, like a guy with bad dentures. And, of course, the midget, which Roger Moore proceeded to beat up for about 15 minutes. Just what feels like 15 minutes of Roger Moore beating up a midget. And of course, I couldn't even begin to discuss Roger Moore's James Bond without mentioning all of the absurd situations that he got himself into. One of the main goals of Roger Moore's James Bond was to make the character more funny, even if that meant literally dressing up as a clown. Not to mention the time that he swung from a vine like Tarzan, or he went snowboarding down a mountain with Beach Boy music playing. And, of course, he was the first James Bond in space. Yet perhaps my favorite moment from the Roger Moore James Bond films was the time that he was stranded on this island, and there was all these crocodiles surrounding him. And so, Roger Moore jumps on the heads of the crocodiles and makes it to the other side of the river. If ever There was awesomeness. It was Roger Moore. Roger Moore is like the gravy to mashed potatoes, the ketchup to French fries. Without him, James Bond would have just been a killing machine. He wouldn't have had any personality. Roger Moore made the character funny. He made us be able to laugh at, to be honest, some of the horrible things that James Bond can sometimes do. So, today, I thank you, Roger Moore, and know that I am donating this tuxedo for you. You were what made Bond, Bond.